Hi everyone, it's Alex Sangha and welcome to my YouTube channel. I talk about mental wellness, spirituality, identity, but as a social worker, I also talk about a lot of social issues. And today we're going to talk about a social issue which is very meaningful for me. It's about the challenges that the poor and homeless people face in our city, especially here in Metro Vancouver. I'm going to walk you through some of the challenges that poor people and homeless people face just in obtaining government support and assistance. So the first major problem I find as a social worker is you need ID, photo identification, to get any services anywhere. You walk into any government offices and the first thing they ask you is to have photo ID. You go into a bank to cash a check, ask for photo ID. So my question to you is, how are homeless people and poor people supposed to get photo ID? Most of them do not have computers to apply for photo ID, such as a birth certificate or a passport or other types of ID. They don't have a credit card to pay for the ID. They don't have a house or a home where the ID can be shipped. How do you expect these people to get ID if they have to go into an office and present ID? So they basically are excluded from services. People should be able to walk into any government office. They should be able to do some sort of identity check on the spot and receive services on the spot. So the first problem is government ID, and how are we going to get ID for these people? They're not getting the services. They can't even cash their checks. They have to go to places where they're ripped off on interest or where they're paying very high interest compared to other places. The other issue is, how can they afford homes? Who's going to rent to people who are on welfare or who are on homeless? How are they going to find proper, decent housing in a market in Vancouver, which has got a heated housing market? They end up living in the margins and in very dangerous areas. So they become homeless. I know the local authorities in Vancouver recently evicted a whole bunch of homeless people from a local park. The local authorities essentially made the homeless even more homeless. Where are these people supposed to go? What did they actually accomplish? The local authorities essentially scattered all the homeless people throughout the city, and they're trying to find new places to set up their tents. How does that solve any problem? It doesn't deal with the root causes of poverty. It does not provide them with stable long-term housing plus supports to go into the homes. So we have government ID. We also have housing shortages and housing problems for the homeless and the poor. And the other problem that we have is a lot of the people who are homeless and poor are dealing with a multitude of intersectional issues: drug addiction. They are engaged in survival sex work, dealing with mental illness, and they're not on medication. So they are essentially on the streets and they are sick and they need help and support. The fact that our society is neglecting these people, what does that say about us as a society? And in terms of the resulting crime and problems that happen, how are these people going to survive? No wonder they are turning to crime and other types of survival mechanisms. How else are they going to survive? What is the solution? What can we do? The first thing is we need to provide them with a stable home. They need housing. That is the first thing that they need. Then they need supports in the home. And then from there, they can get their ID and move on and start to develop their life. That's what I think is the solution. People need a stable home, and that's where you can start, and that's where the investments can start. But the last thing I want to say about the poor and the homeless is we need to provide for the poor and homeless, because it is unfair for people not to be able to reach their potential and capacity in society. Everyone needs to support everyone so that we can all be uplifted. So that is my talk today on the poor and the homeless and how to support them. And remember, if everyone just helps and mentors one person in their life, then the entire world can be empowered. Yes, you can make that happen. Thank you. Bye-bye.